Jim Ross is retired and done with the WWE. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jason. This is a rough subject to talk about. Shocking news a few days ago. Um, yeah, Jim Ross is done, uh, and unfortunately, this uh, this piece of news does not go without controversy. It's not like the piece of news we heard a few weeks ago talking about Ted DiBiase said his goodbyes and did not re-sign with the WWE. That was a quick story. You didn't hear a lot about it. You heard a couple things about his dad commenting about it, but there wasn't any. He went away because he went into rehab or something like that. No, he just went to said goodbye, and he's done with the WWE. He didn't resign. This story, unfortunately, with Jim Ross, does not go without controversy. A few weeks ago, the WWE did their 2K14 symposium, the 30 years of WrestleMania panel. Um, it's a panel talking about the new game, 30 years of WrestleMania, hosted by JR. Had Daniel Bryan on it, Dolph Ziggler, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mick Foley, and of course, Ric Flair. Um, Rick Ric Flair unfortunately was drunk as a skunk at this event, and Jim Ross was off too. He right when he got there, he explained right at the start of the event of the panel. Um, he explained that he had a procedure, that he had just come from some procedure at the hospital. So whatever he had done, I don't remember if he said exactly what it was or not. He was off. I don't think he was completely doped up on something, but he was off. He did not sound like himself, and he probably shouldn't have done this event until he was 100%, and feeling better, whatever. But nonetheless, he came off sounding drunk, and I don't believe he was drunk. There's a lot of people out there saying, "Oh, JR was drunk and Ric Flair was drunk." No, Ric Flair was drunk, okay? He had the cocktail in hand and just drinking the entire time. Um, and that was, some of it was damn funny to watch. Some of it was really hard to watch because Ric Flair just went on and on and on. And JR just completely lost control of this panel. Well, this apparently upset a lot of people in the WWE, the higher ups in the company. And, as shocking as this is that he's retiring, if you heard about all the stuff that happened and if you watched it on YouTube, yeah, you can understand why they let him go. Um, some people are saying, "Oh, well, it's Ric Flair's fault that JR is gone." Well, yeah, you can say that. You could also blame JR for not doing something during the panel. I don't blame him. Yeah, I thought it was damn funny. Best line of the entire thing, I think, was when Jim Ross, trying to make light of the situation that was obviously spiraling out of control during this panel, was the portion of this panel is now brought to you by Grey Goose, which must have been what Ric Flair was drinking plenty of that day. So yeah, JR's done. It's sad. What are some of my favorite moments of JR? I'll tell you, he called so many great matches, so many great pay per views. I can't, it's impossible for me to pinpoint, say, oh, well, this was the best match he ever called. Obviously, you could pick, some people will pick, the Stone Cold Steve Austin Rock matches. That whole rivalry was great because he was, obviously close with Stone Cold. You could say that was his best. You could say, oh, any of the WrestleManias you could say were his best. And honestly, I'm not I'm not gonna pick any of those as my favorite. My favorite moments, honestly, of remembering JR was back when Triple H was like the top heel of the company. And I know you're thinking as you're watching this, you're like, what are you talking about? He's the top heel of the company right now. Again, no, I'm talking about when he was uh, World Heavyweight Champion or WWE Champion. Um, and he just took a sledgehammer to his opponent, whoever it was at the time, The Rock, Stone Cold, whatever, ending a pay-per-view and winning his title again for the umpteenth million time. And JR is in the background, standing next to where he does commentary at the table, standing next to the table, bent over and screaming into his headset, "Damn you, Triple H! Damn you!" Those are some, you know, they're funny moments because it's one thing to hear him commentate a match, do the play-by-play. It's another thing to see him at the end of a pay-per-view bent over, screaming into his headset. That was rich. He gave 100% all the time. So those are what the first thing I think of. It's him, being all emotional, doing play-by-plays for so many events throughout the WWE history. And honestly, a day after, um, the day before, um, he announced this on 9/11. If 9/11 isn't emotional enough when you're reflecting on what happened on 9/11, then we get Jim Ross retiring. Another thing to be said about Jim Ross. Now I don't know how long he's been uh, doing ringside commentary, doing play-by-play. He came in the 90s, was celebrating 20 years. So he came in about 93, I guess, in the WWF at that time, WWE, whatever you want to say. Before that, he was in the NWA, and I didn't know what he had all done, how long he was with the company, NWA and WCW. He was with them for a while. I just was watching this War Games 3 DVD set, just came out last week, I think. I picked this up. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, and this is not a review for the DVD set, okay? But I'm just letting you know. If you love old WCW stuff, Dusty Rhodes, NWA, Freebirds, the Road Warriors, Sting, the list goes on and on. Old stuff like that. It's classic. It's great stuff. Great matches. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I've only gotten through like the first disc because it's 6 hours. That's a long set of stuff to watch. He does damn good commentary on the first few matches of this DVD set. It's stuff from the Great American Bash, War Games, where he's calling the matches for Nikita Koloff, Road Warriors, and Dusty Rhodes versus the Four Horsemen. And some of them are a little repetitious as far as who was in them, so I'm not going to go over all of them. But just another reason to buy it is to hear him do the calling these matches. It's just classic Jim Ross. And obviously Vince saw this and saw the talent and wanted him to come to the WWF. So yeah, here's to you, Jim Ross, for doing a great job, even way back then, and everything you've done in the WWF, in the WWE, and even now. People are like, well, what has he been doing lately? He hasn't been doing much. Yeah, he actually has. I mean, besides his, always selling his sauces or cookbooks or whatever, he he's been on the last season or so of NXT. Now, if you haven't watched NXT, I'll tell you, it's another great reason to watch it, because besides the new and upcoming talent, like the guys from the Shield, um, just just for an example of who came from, within the last couple of years, from FCW and um, NXT, Jim Ross was doing commentary, and to hear William Regal and Jim Ross side by side calling these matches, Jim Ross has still got it. He really does, and we're not going to hear that no more, because now he's done. Or is he? I saw some people, everyone's speculating, what's he doing next? Well, obviously he's still going to be promoting his sauces, maybe doing another cookbook. I'm sure he's going to be doing appearances, maybe some legend panels around, between him, uh, probably him, Jerry King Lawler. I think they just did one in Milwaukee, close by here. I missed it, unfortunately. I'm really wishing I was there now. Um, I even heard some people speculate, oh, what if he goes to TNA? Now, before you lose your mind while you're watching this and, slap your computer or laptop or whatever, because I just said that, stop, pump the brakes, think about it. What could Jim Ross do for a brand like TNA if he was calling their matches? Now, whether you love TNA or you hate TNA, you got to admit they got some decent talent in there. Austin Aries, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode. They've got a lot of talent on that roster. And, some people don't watch it because they can't stand Mike Tenay or Taz or Jeremy, whatever his name is, Borash. What if Jim Ross went to TNA? He could really, in my opinion, help that product. What's the likelihood of him doing it? Probably is not. I think he's always going to be a WWE guy, but you never know. You never say never in this business, and you don't want to burn bridges. And I don't think him going to TNA, honestly, is burning a bridge, because I think in some aspects, I think Vince would always welcome him back to call a big match. Who knows? Maybe he'll be back for WrestleMania 30 and he'll call some match that maybe Stone Cold will come back, maybe, for one last match. Who better to call Stone Cold's one last match than Jim Ross? So who knows what's up for, Jim Ross's future. He's still blogging all the time about what's going on in his life, what he's doing, about the shows he's watching. He may still blog about, what's going on in the WWE and his opinion on the talent he's watching. But whatever he does, the classic line, I wish him all in his future endeavors. Wish him well. I really do. So, here's to you, Jim Ross. Tipping a cold one for you. This portion is brought to you by Milwaukee's Best. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching.